Roger Moore, as I live and breathe. How wonderful to see you again, sir.
Thank you. How kind you are.
Hey, since you last came on the show, of course, congratulations, Walter, because plain old Roger Moore became Sir Roger Moore in 2002. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so deserved and long overdue, and what a marvellous thing. I should imagine a lovely way to spend a day, a nice experience to go out there and come home knighted.
Well, it's, in the day, it's terrifying. Or I found it terrifying because when I was told that it was going to happen, I go, oh dear, I'm going to have to kneel and get up. Now, at a certain age, kneeling and getting up is very difficult. And so I started having nightmares. I called Michael Caine and I said, what do I do if I can't get up? He said, well, it's all right. There is a rail that you lean on. And it was, I don't remember getting up. I don't remember kneeling. And then Her Majesty will talk to you. And when she has finished the conversation, that is the end of the conversation, we'll give you a hand. Yeah. And you will then take 3 paces back, turn to the right, and you will leave. And do nothing else. You know, I couldn't risk, my wife and children were sitting in the front row.
You gave them the wink.
Well, of course.
But what a lovely thing to have. It's so nice. Let me ask you about the book which is coming out now, because finally, Sir Roger Moore has taken time out to write his autobiography, and I was amazed. I would have thought you must have been asked in the past and you must have been tempted to do this before. Why leave it so long?
Well, I was always frightened to write about people I knew. You know, I said, if I'm going to say something, it's embarrassing, they might be upset. So I had to wait for everybody to die.
Well, there's a lot of people in here who are still knocking around. It's not quite as straightforward as that. Roger Moore is called My Word Is My Bond, of course, because that's a defining role in your life, playing James Bond. I loved reading it. I love the pictures in it as well. Man, what a career as well. I mean, some of the people you've worked with and known over the years. Because you were under contract. Was it MGM, one of the big studios?
MGM, I was under contract for 2 years.
Because that was back in the day when, of course, a young star or young starlet would appear and they would get signed up and they would be groomed and taught how to carry themselves. And there's a... Look at that publicity photograph of you then. That is a fresh-faced youngster ready to take on the world.
Oh.
What was it like being at MGM? Was it a good experience? Were you pleased that you were signed by them? Was that what you'd hoped it would be?
Well, it was wonderful. I walked around, you know, starstruck. I'd see Ava Gardner and Howard Keel and Clark Gable, and I'd say hi. You know, I thought I knew them. I'd seen them on the screen, and yeah, it was wonderful. I loved it.
You worked with Lana Turner, and she taught you to do screen kisses. Is that right? She taught you the art of screen kissing.
Yeah, I was Prince Henri of France, and Lana Turner was my mistress. And comes the scene where my father dies, and I now am going to be king, and I'm on a balcony with the moonlight with Lana Turner, and I say, moving close to her, "You made me a prince. Now make me a king." And I go forward and I kiss her. And I get a whole lot. And
when you say the whole lot, what do you mean?
Well, a whole lot. Passion. And she's cut, please. I said, what have I done wrong? She says, Roger, you are a great kisser, but when a lady gets to 35, she has to watch the neck. So would you put all the passion without the pressure? So no, I became an expert in doing it without...
A gentle kiss, without changing the shape of the lady's face?
Yeah.
Let me ask you about when you were a youngster, because Roger grew up in a time when you might look back and think, OK, those days the kids didn't have half of what we had. They didn't have television. They didn't have, you know, BMX bikes. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have all that. They didn't have iPods. But I tell you what Roger Moore had, and this is why I'm very jealous of him, as a young boy, he had a pet monkey, ladies and gentlemen. How did you wind up with a pet monkey?
Well, my aunt, who lived with us at that time, came home with a monkey. His name was Jimmy. He was a rhesus monkey. Rhesus monkeys don't use their tails to climb, so they have to use their hands, which means when they're carrying food, they put it in their pouches that they fill up. The whole banana goes in there. Sorry about that. And they...
Looks like you taught Lana Turner something from the
Lana taught me. And so he would have these, and then he would, when he realised there was nothing else coming, he would go, and...
Just eat it all down? Wow.
And get it all out. And he was a terror. He was on like a 20-foot chain at the end of the garden on a tree, and there was a wall dividing the next house, and there was an elderly lady who liked to come up with tea in the garden. And one day she was walking up the garden path, and she had her hair in a bun, and Jimmy reached down from a branch and got her hair and pulled her up like this, and she screamed through the teapot at him. And Jimmy... Oh, he was wonderful. And another time, he wasn't on a chain in the house. He ran around, and the door was open, and he got out, and there was terrible screams from the other house on the other side. And Jimmy, who'd been playing in the garden all day, was fairly dirty, had gone through a window into a bathroom where a lady was about to have a bath. And Jimmy had got in the bath. Now, you know what a cat or a dog looks like. They get in the bath. Jimmy was like that. And he'd been all around the walls, mud everywhere. And we're sitting there, you scream, this poor woman.
You say, we think that we have an exciting life. Jimmy the monkey knew how to live, didn't he? Let's talk about your TV work early on. I loved The Saint when I was growing up. I loved it. But The Persuaders, I really loved The Persuaders. And you and Tony Curtis, that was a great thing. Did you know each other before, or did you meet when you started working together?
No, I never met him before, but I had to go to... When Lou said, we're going to have Tony Curtis, and he said, Roger said, I want you to go to Los Angeles, and you're to go with Bob Baker, who was my partner, or became my partner, and Terry Nation, who was the story editor. Now, don't smoke. Tony doesn't smoke. He is the spokesman against smoking in America. Don't smoke. So we go to Tony's enormous mansion, and we sit there for 2 hours discussing the show and everything else, and then finally I could see that Terry Nation was a chain smoker, was dying. Bob smoked a pipe, and I said, Tony, Lou told us you don't smoke. I know you don't smoke, but Terry is dying for smoke. I wouldn't mind a fag myself, and Bob would like to smoke his pipe. And Tony says, oh, Leslie, that was his wife. Leslie, where's that ashtray we had? And she comes, ashtray? 2 months later, I'm in hospital because I had kidney stones. Otherwise, I'd have been at the airport. Tony arrives, Heathrow. They find marijuana in him. And, he gets fined 50 quid.
50 quid?
Yeah.
Is that what you got back then for bringing gear in?
No, that was for letting the judge smoke it.
So he was a secret puffer, but he didn't like tobacco, but he favoured the weed. Yeah. Okay, did you ever share a doobie with Tony Curtis?
No, not with Tony.
Oh, marvellous. We have Tony Curtis coming on in a few weeks' time.
So I heard.
He's quite a handful, I believe. Is he? Have you met him recently? You in touch?
Not at all. No? He's actually lovely. And he'll love you.
Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you.
Dear sweet Jonathan. You're lovely.
That's a very good impersonation. Let me ask you about some of the great people you work with, because, man, you look at Roger's career and some of the names in this book, some of the people you work with, who to us seem, it's impossible that you knew. Richard Burton, for example. The great David Niven. I mean, Gregory Peck. These are people who... And some of them you were pretty close with, weren't you?
Well, David Niven was a particularly close friend, and we made a few films together. And I went to Switzerland for the first time because David asked me to come and stay in Châteaudet, where he lived. And he was a dear friend. I miss him.
Here's a man who I would like to have met, who Sir Roger worked with. Hervé, is it Villechaize or Villechaize? Hervé. Nick Nack from the Bond movies. Remember Nick Nack? There he is. There's a great publicity photograph. I believe Ant and Dec have the same publicity photograph at the moment. What was he like? What was he like as a character? What was he like as a performer? Because he liked the ladies, didn't he? Is that true?
Yeah, you see how tall Maud Adams is. She was the one on that side.
Yeah.
And we were in Hong Kong at the Peninsula Hotel, and Hervé was walking, his head really only came up to the bottom of the skirt. And he looked up and he said,
Look, Maud, I'm going to take you upstairs and I'm going to make violent, passionate love to you.
And she said, if you do and I find out about it, I'm going to be very angry. He actually was a little bugger. He'd have a flashlight and he'd go to all these clubs in Bangkok and in Hong Kong, and lined the girls up. And he said,
So you, not you.
and when we were leaving Bangkok...
So he had a big appetite for that kind of thing.
Oh, tremendous.
Wow.
And little big man.
Yeah.
And I said to him, how many of you women have you had since you've been here?
This is 44.
I said, it really doesn't count, though, because you pay.
He said, no, it does, because even when I pay, sometimes they refuse.
Oh, poor little hermit. Let me ask you about being Bond, of course. Have you been to see the new Bond since you? Did you go and see... there was, of course... now we have Daniel Craig, of course.
Casino Royale, I saw that. I thought he was terrific.
Yeah.
You know, I've been sort of protesting against negative publicity that the press were giving. They were saying, oh, he shot, before he started.
He shouldn't be blonde, he's too short. Yep.
And I said, why don't you give him a chance? And I'd seen the films he had done. He was an excellent actor.
You know, the new Bond's coming out in a few weeks' time. I'm going to go and see it. Do you fancy joining me? Do you want to be my date for the night? What do you mean,
I mean, you're not going to that in the summer.
No, I might yawn and put my arm around you for warmth at some stage. Hey, Sir Roger Moore, we're extra delighted to see you because not only is it lovely to spend some time in his company, and I recommend the book. I've been loving it. If you like showbiz from that period, and if you want to know more about Sir Roger Moore, this is the book to get. But there's some fabulous pictures in there as well. So thank you for sharing those with us. But I'm excited because it's Sir Roger Moore's birthday next week.
Yes, indeed.
And you've come in to join us in just in, so we should all wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
I didn't want to get you a big cake, so I don't know if you're a cake man, but I understand you're very fond of the pork pie.
And ketchup.
Don't push your luck. I got you a pork pie. So here we go. This is a little birthday pork pie we got for you there. I got you. Hold it. Ah, oh, fuck! It went upwards. You know when it goes upwards?
Yeah, I wish I knew.
Well, you're clapping, but he's 81, so it might not have been a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Are you going to make a wish, Sir Roger? Will you blow it out?
Yeah, I'm quite good at blowing.
Okay. You fancy a slice now?
Oh, absolutely.
I love a bit of pork pie, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's the jelly I like out of them.
You know, you can buy one. There's one you can buy in the supermarkets that has...
Already cut.
Well, You'd have thought they might have spared me my embarrassment there. Oh, humbug. Do you want to take some of this back for the fellas in the green room there?
Yeah.
OK. No, I'm going to have that little bit there. A bit of Branston. There you go. Some for you. A bit of Branston.
Very good. Is it a Walls?
No, it's some Fortnum & Masons. We splashed out, but it's all right. It's licensed players' money. No one cares. What? Would you don't want me to buy him a nice pork pie? Good enough? Good enough for you?
Don't have to have dinner tonight.
That is the face of a happy birthday boy, ladies and gentlemen. So Roger, so lovely to spend some time with you again. Join me in saying thank you really to the one and only Sir Roger Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. So about the pie, it's repeating a bit. How long is it? You're going to take that back home, guys? He's off. Thank you, Roger. Sir Roger Moore, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.